Hey Pisces, welcome to April. So out of all the zodiac signs, I really think that you are being most affected by what's going on right now. I think it's between you and Aries. Now, we've basically had so many planets in your sign, right? So if you're a Pisces sun or a Pisces moon or Pisces rising, all these planets have been kind of going back over, and they've been going over and back and over again. And I have to say that's got to be pretty exhausting for you, Pisces, because it's been going on for a few months and it just feels like I think we're all ready for these planets to move out of Pisces. So we start off, remember, Mercury's been retrograding from Aries to Pisces. Venus has been retrograding from Aries to Pisces. We've had Neptune and Saturn hanging out in Pisces for a very long time. And Neptune, the planet, the great healer, the planet of illusion and delusion, the planet of creativity, is finally going to leave Pisces on the 30th of the month. Okay, now it will retrograde back later, I think in October, but for now it's going to move out of your sign. And I think you're going to be happy about that, even though Neptune is your ruling planet. But, you know, after a while, it's like, okay, let's just have a little downtime here. Now, Mercury will be moving. It moved back into Pisces. It'll be moving into Aries on the 16th of the month, and then you'll be in the clear of that for a while. Venus will be moving back into Aries on the 30th of the month, so you'll be done with that for a little while. And then you still have Saturn, which has been hanging out there for a while now, and that's going to make its move in May, although it will retrograde back later. But for now, you're going to get a little break. So I think you're going to start feeling a little bit more like yourself, or just ready to move on to new feelings when we get to mid-April, but especially when we get into May. Okay, so hold on there. I know it's been a lot. I know it's been emotional and foggy, but there is going to be a shift for you. And I think that's going to be a really good thing. Okay, so what I've done here is I put a card on each zodiac house. We're going to do a zodiac spread again this month. I like it because it kind of covers all the areas of your life. And I took a Beltane oracle card because we have Beltane, the pagan celebration of fertility, celebration of the green man and the goddess. And that happens on May 1st. And I know this is an April report, but I did include the first couple days of May. So let's see what the Beltane Oracle is for you, for your overall vibe of the month. And you've got the Vision card. And it says, to find enlightenment. Let me put this up here. To find enlightenment, seek nowhere, for it lives within you. To find enlightenment, seek nowhere, for it lives within you. It kind of feels like the Three of Cups in a way, that they're just like, they're these three ladies up there. They're celebrating nature. And so it's like, just telling you, like, simple joy. The joy's in your heart. Vision. So not a bad card for the theme of the month. And to me, vision sounds like a Pisces word, because you know, sometimes it gets a little confusing in astrology because we'll say something rules something. We use that term rulership a lot. And Pisces, you rule creativity. You're ruled by Neptune. So it's foggy, right? So it's almost like lack of vision. But, you know, I was sharing an analogy that one astrologer shared with me about how, like, it's like an airplane going up and everything's really foggy when you're in the clouds. But when you get high enough, then you have vision, right? Then you get above the clouds and you can see. So Pisces is associated with fog and illusion and delusion, but it's also associated with clarity, clear vision. Okay. So I think that's pretty cool that that card showed up in the middle, and that was just randomly. Okay. Now, I haven't looked at any of these other cards yet either. Let's see what you need to know this month, Pisces. We are starting off with the first house, which is Aries house, the house of I am, the house of your public image. And you've got the Justice card here. This is the cannabis card in the Herb Crafters Tarot. And this kind of makes me feel like, you know, there's the Constitution written on hemp. And there's all the marijuana plants. And we know how I don't know. I always think about that movie Reefer Madness and how like years later we found out that that was like a paper company had put that movie out. If I know my history correctly, that's what I was told, that it was the paper companies did not want hemp to be used because it was a threat to their product. So they put out Reefer Madness to try to make people think that cannabis made you go crazy, made you jump out windows. Okay. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up because it's pretty amazing that that is the mindset. That's, I think, why so many of the older generation don't like it. Okay. Because they think it does make us insane. And so here's cannabis, and here's the justice card, and it's card number 11, which equals 2. So it's a relationship number. So I feel like this has themes of like misunderstandings, not really getting it, almost like false charges. Okay, in the house of your public image. So maybe you're not being maybe you're being misunderstood. Maybe maybe there's some old, outdated viewpoints on you, or maybe you have old viewpoints of yourself. And so we have the cannabis card showing up here in the first house, major arcana, major secret of life card, major teacher card. Now, house number 2 is Taurus's house, the house of value. Some people just call it the house of money. It's a Venus house. And you've got the star card showing up here. And this is a card of hope and healing, that some things have been removed from you to make space for the highest and best. And we know we had that solar eclipse in the month of March, or I'm sorry, that lunar eclipse that was said to take something from us. And then the lunar eclipse on the 30th that's said to bring something to us. So maybe you're feeling a little bit of a purge, but it's making space for the highest and best. 2 major arcana starting off here. Let's see what you got in Gemini's house, the house of communication, the house of your local community. Has themes of your environment. It also has themes of your how you think, how you communicate. And the Knight of Pentacles is here. And I'm often, I always feel like the Knight of Pentacles takes a long time to show up. So this little, whatever he is, groundhog, kind of popping up, showing up. Maybe you've been waiting for him for a while. Okay, so I think that maybe you might have some visitors. You might have some people you haven't seen in a while that are showing up in your life here. Now, the 4th house is the house of the home. It's Cancer's house. It's the house of how you nurture yourself. It's your root chakra. It's a psychic house. It's a water house ruled by the moon. And you've got the Lord, the Lady and the Lord. So that's the proper terminology for Beltane, the Lady and the Lord, or the Green Man and the Goddess. This is the Lovers, and it's showing up in your house of your home. So it's really beautiful. It's card number 6. It's really a Gemini card that's about choices, but I do get the vibe that somebody's showing up. Could be somebody from your past, could be an ex, or someone who maybe there's been some misunderstanding between the two of you. Maybe this is even someone you've been married to, okay, that's showing back up. But I kind of get good vibes from this. Like you're going to have clarity. You're going to have the vision that you need. There's going to be healing. Now, and I think that makes sense too, because when Neptune's at the end of degrees, and Neptune's the great healer, and you're a Pisces ruled by Neptune, and Neptune's been in your sign. And I think when it gets to the end of degrees, things like escalate. And so it would make sense to me that there would be a great healing for you. Okay. And I think it's relationship wise. Now, we move into Leo's house. This is the house of fun and joy and creativity and romance. And it also rules the heart of a child. The celebration card. This is the 3 of Cups from the Osho Zen Tarot. And they're dancing in the rain. I love it. It just looks like so blissful. Okay, so there's a lot of fun here. You've got some good vibes. This is almost like, looks a lot like the vision card that was in the center. All right, looks like you got a good group of people around you. Now, 6th house. 6th house is Virgo's house. House of work, routines, health. I think of your contribution to society. It's a Mercury ruled house. It has a lot to do with analyzing. And I think of it as the house of mental health. And here's the 3 of Wands. She looks really at peace here. Okay, because 3 of Wands usually looks like somebody like looking out the top of a mountain and where are we going to go next? But she is going inward. Okay, and she looks very peaceful. So maybe some calm, quiet time is a good thing for you. Let's go into the 7th house, which is Libra's house of relationships. It's also the house of legal matters, and you have the Madre of water, oats. This is the Queen of Cups. And so oats are really soothing. This isn't like oatmeal. This is like, I think it's like milky oats. You'll often see it if you buy like tinctures that are used for calming, you often see milky oats in there. So there's something very calming, very available. I think this card is really beautiful. And you got a queen showing up in your house of relationships. Again, the cards are non-gender, but a queen receives. And sometimes I take the court cards as literal people. So I think someone is showing up here. There's a very calming relationship here. And also being like that with yourself. Now, we're going into the 8th house, Scorpio's house of sex, death, and taxes. Joint finances. I think it's a house of power. I also think of it as a house of the other side, house of your ancestors. And this is the house of death and rebirth. It's Scorpio's deep, powerful, transformational, psychic water house. And you have the 6 of Athams, which would be traditionally called the 6 of Swords. And he's got his boat and he's got his pony. This reminds me of that Lyle Lovett song. If I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean, and if I had a pony, I'd ride him on that boat. That's what this reminds me of. This is the 6 of air, which is like a minor version of the lovers, which you had over here in the 4th house. So in the psychic 4th house, you had the lovers, and in the psychic 8th house, you have this minor version, the 6 of swords. There's forward movement. Okay. It's interesting. Maybe all you need is your boat and your pony. So maybe taking some quiet downtime also, but there's also a lot of social energy. Now, we move into Sagittarius' house of the higher mind, the bigger picture, Jupiter ruled house. It's a house of teaching and learning and being the student, being the teacher. It's a house of publishing. It's also the house of travel. And we have the 4 of earth here. This is the willow. This is 4 of Pentacles traditionally, and they're just building something, weaving, building something. So maybe you've got some projects, maybe you're taking some classes, maybe you're planning a trip, but it's in its early stages of figuring it out, okay, weaving it all together. Now, the 10th house is Capricorn's house. It's a house of your career, your long-term standing in the world, your reputation. It's a house of fame and awards. There's a Page of Swords here, and it's the Road Runner, and he's fast moving. Okay, so pages usually in service of the court. Swords is air, it's thought, it's the mind, and there is just fast moving mind here. Okay, busy, busy. Now, it's kind of funny. It's like busy, busy next to this 4 of earth, which is kind of like a slow moving card that something's building. So you may have some bigger plans. You might be working really hard right now, but you might have bigger plans of travel or some courses that you're taking, building something for later. Now we move into Aquarius's house. This is the house of friends and the bigger picture. It has themes of your social life and your hopes and your dreams. And we have the 8 of Cups. So I see you walking away from some situations. There's an eclipse happening in the background. So there may be some people you're walking away from. I mean, there was a lot here. We started off with the Justice card, some misunderstanding maybe. We've got some social energy and some lovers energy here too, but then we kind of had some quiet time taking stuff out for yourself. So you may be there may be some relationships you're walking away from. Okay. And maybe that is what you need to be doing right now. Now we go into your house, Pisces. This is the house of secrets. This is the hidden house, the house of karma, house of undoing things that, behaviors that maybe we don't want. Very psychic water house. Page of Atham shows up. This is the Page of Swords. And so she's studying her craft. She's getting really clear. And I keep getting the idea that you're like working a day job, but you're studying and you're getting ready to maybe launch a new career. Maybe you're up late doing a lot of that kind of stuff. But so I see a lot of like working a lot, studying, alone time, social time. There's some love vibes to this. And maybe just clearing up some old misunderstandings, because I think that there's like an ex or an old friend coming to town that you have had some misunderstanding, but now I think you can clear this up, and there's some power here, and this relationship might even be able to be rekindled, or maybe it's just going to get clarity and then you're going to step away. Okay. But I think it's going to work out really well for you. Now, let me roll you some dice. The moon in Aquarius in the fourth house. Okay, so the moon in the rebellious, never know what's going to happen sign of Aquarius in the fourth house, the house of the home. Now, Aquarius rules friends and groups of people. Okay, so, and the moon is the fourth house. So it's kind of, I think you're having some friends come to town. That's what I keep getting. Like somebody maybe wants to stay at your house, but you're allowed to say no. But I do think that this person is worth seeing, because I think there's some things here for you to clear up. Now, let me give you some power days, okay? So you rolled Aquarius, and we know the moon will be in the sign of Aquarius on Easter at 7:22 p.m. So that's going to be a power time for you through the 21st and the 22nd. Then the moon goes into your sign, Pisces. So you also get the 23rd, the 24th, and the 25th until 3:24 a.m. Now you rolled the sign Cancer, and the moon will be in the sign of Cancer. When will it be there? Starting on Thursday the 3rd at 6:50 p.m. This is Eastern Standard Time, through Friday the 4th, through Saturday the 5th, and through Sunday the 6th until 12:34 a.m. These are power times for you, Pisces. I'm really happy for you that things are going to be moving forward. I think you're long overdue for this. And thanks for listening.